Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of my Facebook Live book tour, which is happening because bookshops sadly can't be doing events. So I can't go into a bookshop and have people sitting there talking to them in real time and real space. I just want to show you the book, which is Understanding Children and Teens. So I'll just hold this up so that you can see. You can buy this from your bookshop, even though you can't see me in the bookshop. Please buy from your bookshops because they really need all the support that we can give them. You can also obviously get it from me on my website where you can buy your signed copy, or of course from Amazon, which of course I know is very, very convenient for us all. So I'm just going to just briefly introduce you to my friend Wendy. Wendy has a beautiful product called My Mood Stars, which she's going to tell you all about. And the reason that they are so important to people like me who work with children and to parents is because it enables children to talk about their emotions. And I've just put a blog post in the group and obviously on my website, which talks about where emotions come from. So I'm just going to really briefly summarize that, but do look at the blog post for more information. But what happens is something happens. Maybe you say it's bedtime, or we've got something for tea that a child doesn't like. So there's an external event, something you see, hear, feel, touch, smell, taste, something from your senses, an external event, which we then filter by our memory of the last time that happened or our experiences. Or we generalize, we delete parts of it, we distort what it means. And as a result of all of that, we have what we call an internal representation, which is what that event means to us. From that comes your state, which is reflected in your face and your facial expression and your feelings. And that's where Wendy comes in. So over to you, Wendy. I'd love to hear about your My Mood Stars.
Thank you, Judy. Well, to begin with, I'm a retired childminder. I was childminding in Maidenhead for 23 years. And in that time, I noticed that all childminders were lacking a resource to help children with their personal, social, and emotional development, which is something that we had to implement under the Ofsted umbrella and evidence to our Ofsted inspectors when they came to call. But there wasn't such a resource. So I set about making some little stars out of felt. I sewed expressions on them and I sent them out to childminders so that they had something in their story sacks or something that the children could play with and relate to all the emotions and expressions that I'd sewn onto the stars' faces. And childminders loved them. And when I got my inspection a couple of months later, my inspector asked me what these stars were, and I told him, and he said that I should market them, that there's a gap in the market for a resource like this, and especially for children on the autism spectrum who generally struggle with understanding and acknowledging and behaving appropriately towards people's emotions. And Jude is absolutely right. Emotions come from experience. So a child going to bed knows he's going to be separated from his parents. He's going to be in his room on his own. It's going to be dark. And all of these things, in some children, not all of them, but in some children, they get distorted and automatically they decide, I don't like bedtime. And then the emotion comes and you're sad or worried, or, angry. So my mood stars can represent all of the emotions that children are going through, and especially at the moment with COVID, with all the goodwill in the world, we as adults can't always hide what we're saying from children. And children, early years children, stare at their parents, at their carers, at their adults intently, because that's how they learn. So children just look at you all the time. So they will pick up on body language, facial expressions, your whole aura. So it's very important when you're having these conversations about COVID, not to have them in front of the children, not to have the television on when the news is on, because it is worrying for them. And it's not just that, it's, are they going to school? Are they not going to school? Are they going to see grandma? Are they not going to see grandma? Why is mummy picking me up from school wearing this mask? I want to see my mummy smiling at me. There's so much going on in their heads at the moment. And one positive thing that I might just add is that primary schools now in England are teaching mental health awareness to their children in primary schools. And that is a compulsory subject now for teachers to teach mental health awareness to their pupils, which is, well, about time, and really, really going to be beneficial to our younger children. So parents can help children and their emotions just by empathizing. I get it. I understand why you're crying. You're sad. Your brother broke your truck. And if somebody broke something of mine, I'd be really upset too. And so really empathize with the children or the child, and let them know that this feeling is acceptable. And it also tells children that you have feelings too. If you can say the same thing that happened to you, or just maybe say to your child, oh, Mum is sad today. I didn't get the client that I wanted. I'm very disappointed and I'm feeling very sad, but I'm going to try again next week, and I'm sure next week I'll have another client. So, because children sometimes don't relate to the fact that we have emotions as well, and it's quite nice for them to feel that they're not alone in their emotional feelings. How am I doing, Judy?
Brilliant. Yes, brilliant.
Is that okay?
I'm dying to see them. I can't wait for you to bring them out and show them.
Okay, well, here they are. Here they are. So there are 8 mood stars depicting expressions and emotions that I feel early years children would feel. So I use the vocabulary that I've used in my house and when I was childminding, but of course you can call the stars according to the vocabulary that you use in your own home. So I've got sad and shocked. Shocked is a split personality. Shocked can be shocked or surprised. There's shy or timid. You go happy, cheerful, silly, crazy. We've got sleepy star, or you can use tired star. Now we've got frightened or worried, and we've got angry, and some people say cross, don't they? Cross star. So these are all the stars. They are Velcro receptive, so they pop on and off their little Velcro dots, which sticks them to the board. I didn't want anything on the back of the stars to take away their plush sensory feel. So the back of the stars is Velcro receptive, and as I say, they just pop on and off their boards. Now, the boards actually arrive in plain MDF, so you can paint them any color you like. And I've found and had feedback that children absolutely love painting the boards. So I use emulsion tester pots from Amazon or Wilko or anywhere, home base. And I've chosen a purple here, but children absolutely love painting the boards. But the boards don't have to be painted, and you don't have to have the board. If you don't have the board, they just come in this little dinky box here. There's also a My Mood Stars workbook available. So this is really cool. Children love it. There's a mood star on each page. We've got angry star here, but the nice thing is that there is a text box on each page for the child to answer the question that each star asks, leading question that the children can answer about that emotion, and they can write about it, they can draw a picture, they can it's available there for the parents to make notes as well. It makes a nice diary to look back on. So if your child does draw something or write something, just pop the date in as well, so you can look back, and it makes a nice diary to look back on. There's silly star and worried stroke angry star and sad star. And yeah, we've had a lot of sad stars at the moment with all this confusion going on. So another tip from me, and you probably know this anyway, but what I found is with young children, they're just crying. They're crying, and because they've got so much stuff inside them, that they'll probably cry at the most ridiculous things, like that they didn't want their crisps next to their sandwich. They wanted their crisps on the side. Oh, it's just all too much. And so let them cry, because what they're doing is they're spewing out, for want of a better word, stuff and gunk and rubbish that they just need to get rid of. So that, for them, having their crisps on the side or next to the sandwich can be such a big deal, because it's a vehicle for them to let off steam. So let them cry it out. Let them have a really good sob until they've sobbed their last sob. So that's just a tip from me. Anything? What else? What have I missed, Judy?
I'd love to hear you talking about how you use the My Mood Stars.
Right.
You know, with a child who's sad, with a child, because I've seen various little videos and photos that you've put up.
Yes. No. Well, what I've forgotten to mention is that there's a 4-page activity sheet download with just the things that you're talking about, Judy, about how to use the mood stars. So the first activity is for the children to actually be able to name the emotions of the mood stars, because then they can label that emotion to them. So I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling like sad star, and they will name the emotions how they're named in your home. So that's really identifying the emotion. And the next step is explaining the emotion. So the child can pick a star, or you can pick a star off the mood stars board. Who's this, sweetheart? Oh, that's worried star. Now, why is worried star worried? Because he's going to go to playgroup, and he doesn't know anybody there. Usually the boys use the he and the girls use the she, but for me they're absolutely non-gender specific at all. But you will find the boys using them use he, and obviously. So they explain the emotion. Why are you cross? Why are you cross? Come and tell mummy. I'm cross because Jason trod on my truck and now it's broken. And so they use the stars really to explain how they're feeling. And one quite amazing thing about the stars is that children will actually reconcile their own feelings with those of the stars, and they'll talk to the stars. Now, my niece was talking to the stars. She was talking to Sad Star. Her mummy was listening. My sister-in-law was listening. And Flossie was saying, why are you sad, Sad Star? Were you on the buddy chair at school today and nobody came to play with you? And Gemma, ears, were pricked up. Yes, I was on the buddy chair today, and And I was sad too, because people are meant to come and play with me on the buddy chair, but they didn't. And that's why I'm sad. And now, she may not have ever said that to Gemma.
Mm.
Gemma may have not ever known about that her daughter was sitting on the buddy chair at school. She had nobody to play with, and nobody was coming to play with her, even though she was on the buddy chair. So it's this sort of thing that makes the My Mood Stars so powerful, is that children will confide in them just like they would any soft toy.
Yeah.
You know how children talk to their soft toys. But these are very powerful because, of course, they evoke the emotion that the child wants to talk about. So back to the activity sheet, and there are activities where the mum and child, or the carer and child, can play with the stars, and mummy will say, "I've got sad star." No, mummy, that's not sad star, that's happy star. Oh, silly mummy. Well, where's sad star then? And then they'll pick sad star. Why is sad star sad? And when were you last sad? When did you last cry? Can you remember? So lots of activities to play to really reinforce the emotions, have a laugh about the emotions, not to take things too seriously. Yeah, and the other thing is, I was going to say, of course, is that they are portable, so children can pop them in their backpack, take them to school. Worried Star at the moment is having a fantastic time visiting all primary schools and nursery schools, because children are taking them with them, and when they're missing mummy, they'll just hold it, give it a squeeze. Mummy might even spray a little bit of her perfume on the star, so that they can just, oh yes, there's my mummy. Oh, you know, that sort of thing. They're washable at 40 degrees, and they're tumble dryable proof as well. So very safe to have at schools. If any primary school teachers are listening in, or they're with their own bubble of kids, they are washable at 40 degrees, very safe to play with in schools.
Wendy, could you just put it a little bit closer to the camera so we can see one of them close up?
Oh, yes, of course. All right, Judy, who should we pick?
Actually, could you pick Worried Star, because I want to explain something to do with tapping with Worried Star.
Oh, okay. So there is Worried Star.
Could you, let's pick it off. Can you
see it?
Yes. Are you able to pick it off and just show the actual, just the star?
This is it.
Perfect. Thank you. Could you just hold it there a moment for me, Wendy?
I can.
Those people who have seen the Facebook Live from yesterday, where we had Tappy Joe showing how to tap with children, you can use, this is how I sometimes use Wendy's My Mood Stars, is in combination with the tapping. So what a child can do is to take the mood star expression, the star itself, off the board and say that that's how they feel, and then they can tap through on that feeling. So they can we don't necessarily do any sort of setup. What I do is, this is the area here which is really good for tapping on anxiety. It's the on the collarbone, just here, both sides. And in fact, actually, sometimes you see monkeys in the zoo sort of going like this, don't they? Sort of for worried. And so if your child is a bit worried before going into school, you can just get them to take the star of whatever that is they're feeling, and just to tap. I'm feeling worried. I'm feeling a bit worried. I'm feeling a bit wobbly. I'm feeling a bit scared. So whatever the feeling is that they want to tap on, they can connect with the star. They can perhaps put the star down beside them, or they could even hold the star in their hand and tap like this with the star. And the same with if they're feeling cross. This is quite a good place here for cross. If you're an EFT practitioner, or if you like tapping, this is a really good place here for tapping for cross. So you could pick off the cross star and just say, feeling cross, feeling angry. Okay, so you can combine tapping with my mood stars, and that's how I do it, especially with, say, younger children who can't perhaps remember all the sequence of tapping, just to teach them a couple of tapping points, like the sort of worried and the angry here, and combine it with the my mood stars. And I think, Wendy's, I've heard you talking as well about taking Sleepy Star to bed.
Yes, yes. Again, let me find Sleepy Star. Yes, children love Sleepy Star, and of course he's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. You know, this they just love Sleepy Star, and a lot of children do get anxious about going to bed, and they like to take a cuddly toy up to bed. And this is the thing with the mood stars; it's very safe. I've had photographs of children just sleeping. They just can wrap their fingers around the stars. It's very comforting. They can squeeze them. Also, if you have any essential oils, you can put the tiniest drop of lavender or chamomile or something that's going to help calm your child. Not a lot, it just needs a tiny little dab. And if you can get essential oils made especially for children, I think doTERRA do them, then all the better. But if you're using an oil that you use yourself, you just need the tiniest little dab, and that will go into the star, and that will give your child a very comforting and restful feeling. So yes, Sleepy Star, a very popular star, one of the most popular stars.
That's lovely. Thank you so much, Wendy. Really, really appreciate all that you've done. And you've got some books as well, I think.
Yes, the mood stars are going to be appearing in their own My Mood Stars storybooks. Now, they haven't been published yet, Judy, so I don't actually have one to show you. But I've written a series of 8 books, all with the mood stars in them. They're probably going to be coming out. This year has just been, well, I don't have to say, do I? But it's been a bit hopeless this year trying to get these stories out with everything going on. But hopefully next year, fingers crossed, this will all be over and we'll be able to carry on as normal.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you, those of you who are able to listen to it live and those who listen to it on the replay. And Wendy, if you would just perhaps put a link in the comments as to where people can buy your My Mood Stars. Oh, and remember to put your email address in the comments to go into the prize draw, because Wendy's very generously offered 2 sets for in the prize draw, which will take place on the 9th. So if you'd put your email address in the comments, the names will go into a bag or a hat or something. And they will be drawn out. And apart from the My Mood Stars, there's also some copies of my book. There's copies of my workbooks for children, tweens and teens. There's also some sort of stones that you can use and some art therapy things that all connect with chapters in my book.
Great prizes.
Yes. So thank you, everyone. And thank you particularly to Wendy. You've been amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you for all you do for the mental health of our little ones and
it's a pleasure.
Our bigger ones. Okay, thank you and goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.